Welcome to Betting Weekly Live. It is Wednesday, the 12th of February. You're with Steve Wyss and Nigel Seeley. Massive day on the cards. Premier League action, Champions League, Championship, tennis. Nigel, how are you doing?
I'm very, very well, Steve. Looking forward to this one. A big night of Champions League football, a massive match in the Premier League. As you say, there's tennis action as well. Good tennis action as well. But I've got a bit of a sweat watching one of these tennis matches now. I'm on Iga Swiatek to win the tournament. And she's struggling a little bit. Linda Noskova. Hopefully, if we're in the next hour, we'll be able to cash a ticket here. But no, all good. Looking forward to the next hour or so. Looking forward to talking through the matches with you and getting the comments from our fantastic audience. The people, the subscribers who watch the show and come on and give us their views. That's what makes this channel the best. The people who come on and give their comments. Really enjoy that. Not about us. It's about we're a community, and welcome on in.
As my cat just gets in the way. He's not even on my desk all day. And I go live, and then he does this. Welcome. Villa Fan 20.
I hope he doesn't do anything else while your face right there, Steve, because it's very, very, very close. If there was anything else going on, I'll be slightly worried.
He's so naughty. He's in a mischievous mood.
The cat.
All of us. But there's so many comments already. Steve-O there, 71, said he's getting sweats with this Swiatek match as well. Villa Fan 20 commented an hour ago, and you look great in that Bet Rivers t-shirt, by the way, Adam. He's on about buying shots away from home. We'll talk about that match very soon. But welcoming Disky, Rick Haley, Duncan Evans, great to see you. Ian Messina, Dave Clark, Min Chung, Effie, Beggars End, Byron. There's so many in already. Mate SK, put your best bets in for the chat. There's so many comments today. I'm probably not going to be able to read them all out at times. So we're just going to have to really crack on. But we're going to go Everton, Liverpool very soon, Nigel. But Champions League last night. What were your takeaways, Nigel, from the playoff round, the first ever playoff round? The goals were flowing.
I think the Man City match obviously was the one that everybody's going to talk about. The fact that Man City did it again. Everyone's thinking, will they do it again? They did it again, 2-1 up and then concede 3-2. I think in a match like that, and I think the way the state of football has changed now. I mean, going back years ago when I was really betting at my biggest and when I thought that unders was the way to go and, buy a big house by betting unders, those were matches that you would have bet 0-0, 1-0, under 1.5, under 2.5. The game's changed massively, and you saw last night the two sides really going at it. Goals galore in all the matches, and I think tonight we're going to see a pretty similar kind of thing. But the bookmakers at Bet Rivers, they're not silly. They're moving those gold lines up and up and up. But we look at Dan Roebuck is the king of the stats here on Because We Win. He knows all the data and the draw statistics here is unbelievable. There isn't the draw. There is a match tonight that I think potentially could be a draw, but there isn't no draws. And it's just a rebase of how you bet these kind of matches now. Completely different from over the last, especially the last 5 years. It's been mad. But goals galore, and I expect goals galore again this evening.
Yeah, we've got the Champions League coming soon, but the biggest match of the day is probably in the English Premier League, and it's the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. It is Everton against Liverpool. Now, this was a postponed match. It was delayed. I think it was set to be played in December, but high winds postponed the fixture. It's actually very similar odds to what it was priced up 2 months ago. I remember you had an official pick on the Premier League show that week, Nigel, on Everton on the handicap, plus 1.25. It's exactly the same handicap here today. Liverpool, if they win, they go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. They are the significant favourite here, minus 235. You can get Everton at plus 650. The tie is plus 360. Under 2.5 goals is plus money at plus 117. I do quite like the under here myself, I must say, but it's a huge game. What's your take on things? And do you have a bet for the fixture?
Of course, I've got a bet for the fixture. I won't come on one of these shows without a bet. That's one thing I've got to do. I've got lots of bets for you today. I'm staggered, absolutely staggered, that the prices are exactly the same as they were in the match that was postponed before. I mean, how on earth can Everton be the same prices that what they were? What was it, 8 weeks ago, before Moyes turn is coming to the club? I mean, it's unbelievable that they're the same price. Unbelievable. In that 8 week period, I would argue that Liverpool have been a little bit going backwards in terms of their performances. Obviously, they lost their Champions League match over in Holland, which was it was a dead rubber essentially because they'd already qualified. They got beaten in the FA Cup at the weekend. I know it's a reserve team, but it's still a bitter disappointment for them. And they have shown signs, in particular the match against Brentford, where they had loads of chances and left it really, really late and scored. Liverpool have left big matches to really, really late on to be able to score goals. And that is a sign of a team that can win the championship. But also it's a sign that team that eventually time will run out. David Moyes has come into this Everton side. They've won the 3 matches that they've played in the Premier League under him since he's returned to the club. Obviously, they got beat at the weekend by Bournemouth, which was a reserve Everton side. And it was a very, very good Bournemouth team. And, you know, I look at this match and I just can't believe that in 4 weeks, the line shouldn't have changed to what it is today. I am staggered that Everton are plus 650 to win this match. Liverpool at minus 235, I think is a hugely wrong price. I'm very happy. If anyone wanted to bet with me, Liverpool at minus 235 on the money line, I'm open to take that bet. Everton at plus 650, I think is wrong. But when you get the wrong price on the money line, then you have to look at the Asian handicap here. And 1.25 goals on Everton. So, you know, only way you're going to lose your full stake on this match is if Liverpool win by 2 goals or more at minus 121, to me, is the bet of the evening. This is their last match at Goodison Park. They are going to be absolutely pumped up for this match. And I know all these kind of things that people think, oh, well, we look at the data, we look at the team, we look at Liverpool performance, but you don't really understand. If you've ever gone to Goodison Park on a midweek night, which I have had the misfortune to go there once before, because I went there with a fan of the opposing side and Everton beat us 4-0. It is a different atmosphere in midweek. And I think that this is going to be a very, 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 very difficult match for Liverpool to get anything from. And I absolutely love Everton here on the handicap plus 1.25. And I'm going to have a bit of pizza money on Everton to win the match at plus 650. So my first official play is Everton here. You know, they've scored 7 goals in the last 2 matches. David Moyes has turned around the team that can't score any goals at home, turned around the way that they play, their high tempo, straight out the blocks, really in your face, exactly what you would expect from an Everton side. And this is going to be one that, I'll tell you what, Arne Slot will not know what's hit him tonight. And also, Liverpool have so many matches coming up. They've got so many matches: Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday. And I've always said that if Liverpool get to this kind of stage of the season, I think their biggest problem will be that the manager has never got them down the line. And I think tonight is a big, big test for him. I do expect cards. I know a lot of people are talking about the cards. This match here is one of the biggest matches in the history of the Premier League for cards. More red cards in this fixture than any other match. I do expect cards. The last game at Goodison Park. But I think that if Everton keep their heads, they've got a real good chance of winning this match.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. This is Arne Slot's... this is going to be his first trip to Goodison Park. So it's it's going to be a baptism of fire for him. You've got David Moyes, who has had 25 Merseyside derbies in his previous stint at Everton when he was there for 11 years. Poor record, though, for Moyes in this derby. Just 4 wins out of 25 against Liverpool in the past.
But there was probably a lot of pressure. There was probably a lot of pressure on Everton then, because Everton were like, they were always... There's no pressure on Everton now. And all the pressure is on Liverpool, and every single match now for Liverpool in this position they have. If Arne Slot loses the league from this, everyone's going to turn around and say, well, I would much rather bet Liverpool now to win 0 trophies than 3 trophies. Because I think he's an inexperienced manager, and I don't believe. I know they've done well on the early data, but I don't believe that. Today, the news coming out of Arsenal with Havertz out injured is a big, big problem for Arsenal. But I don't believe that they are that much better than everybody. So I think this is a huge, huge match tonight, and I think that Liverpool are far, far too short at minus 235 on the road.
I really like under 2.75 goals. at minus 109. Historically very tight fixture. The last 5 have gone under. Both teams score no. 11 of the last 14 under 2.5. Everton, I think it's pretty obvious how Moyes is going to set them up here. Defensive, hard to break down, frustrate Liverpool, and they'll get a threat from set pieces and on the break themselves. Be really surprised if there's that many goals in the game, to be honest, Nigel. We talked about the cards. Michael Oliver in the middle here averages nearly 5 cards per game in the Prem in the matches he officiates in the Premier League this season, and 5.34 in his Champions League games. So this is
going to be, and also you got to remember Liverpool, Everton are going to come out and play for their absolute hearts. I mean, there was not a Blues fan in the country who will not want to see them put. It's going to be a raucous night. I mean, I mean, Joe Bamber says they already have the Premier League in their pocket. Do you think so? I don't think so. I mean, the fixture backlog that Liverpool have is massive. And, I've spoken about it before, the contractual problems, players want out at the end of the season. I'm not quite sure. Arsenal could drop out at the end of the season, but they've had injury crisis. They've done all right without Saka. They've done all right without Odegaard. They're still in with a shout here. I'm not convinced that this title is over just yet, but I believe that Liverpool tonight are no value whatsoever at -$2, minus 235. I mean, come on, let's be fair. Really, if anybody in this group is betting Liverpool on the money line, please let me know. And even if you win or lose, look.
What would you offer someone?
I'll offer them counselling. That's what I'll offer them. I wouldn't offer them anything else. Minus 235. You're betting Liverpool. I mean, away from home against Everton. No, not absolutely not for me whatsoever.
97% of the tickets are on Liverpool on the money line. 88% of the money. 71% of the money on the over/under line is on the over. Big bet on Liverpool draw double chance. $10,000 at a minus 1,000. I mean, you mentioned the title race there. I guess that if prime Man City were on their backs, I think you would be very nervous for Liverpool. But Arsenal just don't look great, do they? Havertz, though, you could say that's a positive him out for the season.
I think you could if they had an understudy, but I mean, they've got no one. I mean, that's a big blow for him. He's suddenly become a big player for them. But the one thing I would say about Arsenal, I know they got the Champions League, but they've had a rest this week. Liverpool have played in the FA Cup match on Sunday. I know very different personnel, but they're going to come back on the weekend and they've got to go to Leicester. I think they'll beat Leicester quite easily. Liverpool have this match and then they have Wolves who are playing well. Liverpool have got a lot of fixture backlog. I just think under 2.5 goals, minus 143, plus 117, or maybe 275 as you say. But I'm all over Everton on the money line, and I'm all over Everton on the Asian handicap as well.
There's a house special. 3 of the 4 house specials won yesterday at Bet Rivers posted up. And the house special for this game is Mo Salah to score and over 2.5 goals at plus 195. So for those who do like the Egyptian king to score and there to be goals, then that is the angle to be going down. I say I like the under, so I couldn't take that myself. But talking about the players, I mean, there's a comment there from Simon saying that Liverpool arrested a load of players as well, but so have Everton. Everton arrested a load of players as well at the weekend, so they both come in fresh. And can you imagine being an Everton fan tonight, going to that match? This is your last Merseyside derby against your arch rivals. New manager in. Got off to a brilliant start, unbeaten in his matches at home this season since he took on charge. And you go in there, you're going to be confident here. And that you want to make that atmosphere so hard for Liverpool. And it's a Liverpool side that have lost their last 2 road matches. I know in the Champions League and I know in the FA Cup, but plus 650 is too big. It's too big for me to swerve, I think. What's your correct score prediction for the game?
4-0 Everton. No, I'm only joking. I think Everton will probably win this. It's difficult because I know you like my genuine prediction would be a 1-1 draw because I think Liverpool will drop points here. I'm going to go 1-1 draw. But I do think 650 is the wrong price. But my best bet is obviously the Asian handicap. So a 1-1 draw will suit me. It will sort under 2.5 goals as well. But I'm having pizza money on Everton to win it because I think the price is too wrong. But if someone said to me, listen, I need a prediction for you, I'll go Everton 1, Liverpool 1. But my best bet will be Everton plus the 1.25, and that will cash for me.
Paul Laguna, what does Kit Kat think of the match? What do you reckon? What are you saying? Over 1.5 red cards was that? Bloody well, hell. It could happen. It could happen. It could be an absolute.
If he gets that right, Jack Wright, if you're watching this, you've gone from the Premier League show.
Kit Kat reckons it's a bloodbath. Quite a few of you think it could be as well. It's going to be a spicy match, isn't it? We're looking forward to it a lot. We've also got Champions League action, of course. Almost overshadows the Champions League. We've got an early kickoff. Club Brugge against Atalanta. This match gets underway in an hour and a half's time. Quite a difficult one, in my personal opinion. Club Brugge plus 225 to win the game. Atalanta plus 128. This is a rare match in the Champions League this week where over 2.5 goals is plus money. So we don't see that too often. And there has been money for the under in the last few days, possibly due to some Atalanta team news. Atalanta to qualify minus 286. I think over the 2 legs we should be seeing the Italian side get through, Nigel. But Club Brugge can be a difficult place to go. I mean, the first leg here, this might be one of Dan Roebuck's draws, maybe, or an under.
Well, you know what? I looked at this match, and the first thing I thought of was the draw. That was the first thing I thought of. And then I saw Dan's tweet and went through the statistics of the draws in the Champions League this season. And I thought to myself, you've got to be very brave to bet the draw here. But I did think the draw was the best price. The other reason why I looked at this was a bet because, we look at the trends. I often speak about on the Game Bet Match with Sean Calvert where I think the money's going, where the money's gone. This has been a really, really strange match because when the lines went out, there was money for Atalanta. They were bet quite heavily in the opening skirmishes. Now there's been money for Club Brugge, and now the money is for the draw. So it suggests to me that the market has absolutely no idea of how this is going to go. I think here that, we talk about matches where, at the top of the show, we had a lot of goals last night in matches where they could be quite difficult and quite cagey in the first matches. I think this one could maybe fall into the old school version of Champions League playoff matches, or not playoff matches, but first leg matches in knockout stages, which essentially this is what this is. I think this could be quite a tight one. I wouldn't be rushing to bet the goal market. I just think it's a really, really tough match to call. Looking at the market, looking at where the money is coming into the market, nobody seems to really understand where the market is going to go. Everyone thinks it's a lot close. Atalanta will be very, very happy to get a draw here, take them back to Bergamo in the return leg. And so I've just got a very, 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 very small lean on the draw here, which is the biggest price of all outcomes. And I'm going to go for the draw. But again, with hardly any conviction, I think this is a real tough match. But the draw is plus 215, which is quite low. As you say, under 2.5 goals is heavy at minus 127. But I've got a feeling this one here could be a sort of more traditional first leg of a knockout Champions League match. You've got two sides quite evenly matched. Atalanta are obviously the better side. But on the road, they'll fancy their chances to get something back in Italy. And I think here, the draw here at plus 215 would be where I'll be heading it for very, very small stakes.
Yeah, I don't have a bet here myself. I'm surprised that 98% of the money is on Atalanta. But, that could perhaps change in the last 90 minutes until kick-off. Both teams are not actually in great form, really. Club Brugge 1 win in 6 games, all comps. Atalanta just 3 wins in 11 matches in all competitions, but they did just win 5-0. Etcheverry with 4 goals in that game. He's plus 180 to score in this game.
Brugge's had a bit of a setback, haven't they, since that Man City match? They haven't really. That took a lot out of them. They had, they pushed the Man City very, very close, almost knocked Man City out of the game, and then going into the Belgian league to keep that high expectation going is quite difficult for them. But I think this will be a very interesting match. But I think the whole purpose of this match is the attitude of the visitors. We know Atalanta were the king of the overs, wasn't they? A couple of seasons ago in European football, you bet over Atalanta games, you bet over 3.5 Atalanta games, you'll be scoring, you'll be making money. But team news for them is crucial. And I think tonight that with players out, I just think get a draw here, keep it nice and tight, and we'll be be heavy minus monies to win. We're back in Bergamo, so I'm going to go for Atalanta and Bruges to have a draw.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you there. I'm going to go actually with a correct score prediction of 0-0. And I do believe Atalanta will qualify overall. Do you give Club Brugge a chance over the two legs, Nigel? Or are you going Atalanta?
No, I think Atalanta will get through to the knockout stages. But I think tonight, this is going to be a low-scoring, boring draw. Exactly the type of European football that I love.
Yeah, I thought you might say that. On to another game, which is arguably even more trickier. Feyenoord against AC Milan. And I moaned yesterday how difficult the Sporting Dortmund game was, mostly because Dortmund recently changed managers. Feyenoord have gone one better. They sacked their boss on Monday. Prisk was sacked. And they've got an interim coach in Pascal Boschart is in charge here for Feyenoord. I think they are one of the hardest teams to predict in terms of the result certainly in the Champions League, maybe in the Eredivisie as well. AC Milan have been backed on the back of this news into minus money favourites now. Not sure I fancy that either, though, really, in the first leg, Nigel. This screams no bet to me. I think it's such a difficult game. I mean, we talked about managers so much on these shows. I just think it's such a red flag in terms of getting involved, unless you know the manager that well.
Well, I don't know the manager at all, but I'm just saying to you. I mean, they had, it shows you how fickle football is and how, one win you could be superstars and next week you can be sacked. They beat Bayern Munich 3-0 in an unbelievable performance at the end of last month. I know they got beat by Lille 6-1 in a terrible, terrible performance the following match after that, and then they went to Ajax and PSV and lost. But the PSV was in the Dutch Cup. I mean, it's not like it's in the league, and then he's lost his job. Arguably, the win against Bayern Munich was probably one of the best wins in Feyenoord's recent history. It was a fantastic performance. They battered Bayern Munich, absolutely battered. It was a sensational performance in a must-win match. And I think they've got the fans here. I mean, I've just come back from Rotterdam, and let me tell you something. It's a hellhole. I mean, it's a port town that is grim. It's horrible. There's nutters everywhere. It's it's the most dangerous city in Holland, and it's not going to be nice for Milan. The atmosphere there is going to be horrible. They're going to make it horrible and nasty for AC Milan. And this is an AC Milan side that let us down big time in their last Champions League game, didn't they? I mean, they got beat by Dynamo Zagreb. They've got some big matches after that. Inter Milan, Roma. I just got a feeling the plus 295 is a big price here. I'm not going to bet the money line, but I do think Feyenoord on the Asian handicap or Feyenoord on the Feyenoord double chance with the draw minus 107. I can guarantee you now. You go on your social media and you look at the atmosphere here before this side come out, and you see all the flares. I mean, I saw a lot of flares there. I thought it was 1975. But there's all the flares going out on the pitch. It's unbelievable. It's a horrible, horrible place. And I'm telling you now, this will be a tough one. So I'm going to go for Feyenoord here, either on the Asian handicap, but I think the best bet is Feyenoord or the tie at minus 107. I think AC Milan are too short, minus 122. And, this is an AC Milan side that have made – they're not a great AC Milan side this year. They've made their life of going to these kind of matches and being very defensive minded of their whole Milan being very hard to beat. Go back to Italy and winning 1-0, 2-0, and I think Feyenoord are underrated here because of the manager. And I think approaching 3-1 on the money line is a big, big price.
The Rotterdam Tourist Board thanks you a lot, Nigel, there for your opinions.
Listen,
right on my bucket list now for the summer, Rotterdam.
I can guarantee you Rotterdam in probably May, June would be lovely. Going there January, February, it's an absolute hellhole. It's freezing cold. It's grey. Everyone's miserable. There's nutters all over the place. And I'm promising you, that's the kind of ugly style football team you've got in Feyenoord. They're depressed, these people. And tonight they're going to be right up for it. And I think they're going to give AC Milan a huge, huge match. So I would love to go back there and change my opinion in the summer, but at the moment, it'll be freezing there. It was freezing. What was it? It must be 0 temperature. It was horrible. What's the temperature there? Hey, let's have a look.
It's I did look at the weather forecast. I think it's about 3 degrees cloudy.
That's hot night for Rotterdam. Oh no, honestly.
Biggest player prop of the game is on Christian Pulisic.
It's raining as well. It's Sorry. It's raining. It's 0 degrees. Tomorrow's -2. Next day -3. -2. And it's rain. It'd be horrible. And that with that wind from that port, it'll feel like -10. Oh God.
Definition of tough place to go. The Kuip.
Never go. Definition of never go. Not tough place to go. Never go to Rotterdam.
It is a rough place. Yeah, the fans really are. They get in your face here. I mean, Feyenoord Ajax is a game. I always get on the cards for that, and the crowd kind of make it. But the bettors are on AC Milan, 92% of the money. No real surprise. Reputation can play a big part here. They've been backed in to minus money favourites. I'm not sure they win this game either, Nigel. I think, over the 2 legs, are Feyenoord even? Are Feyenoord too big at plus 240 to actually qualify? Yes. I'm not saying they will, but that just seems big if they play.
Can I just turn around and say to you, what price were AC Milan to qualify for the knockout stages? We bet them. You bet them on the newsletter. Yeah. It was your big bet, and they let us down big time when it was there for the taking against Zagreb. And we watched that match. We've done the live bet cast. The amount of opportunities Zagreb had to win that match, they could have won it by 4 or 5, and Milan bottled it, essentially, absolutely bottled it. And this is not the place you want to go when you've got a problem of bottling. So I'd be worried about that.
Yunus Musa suspended for Milan. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is injured. Florenzi, I think they've got a couple of other injuries as well. Intriguing game. The Spanish referee in the middle averages nearly 6 cards per game in La Liga this season, but his card count does go down in the Champions League. He didn't actually give a card in Man City versus Club Brugge, which surprises me. There was a crazy stat last night that Clement Turpin's given 1 card in his last 3 games officiated. The ref who did the Man City game yesterday evening. This Spanish ref managed that at the Etihad as well. Okay, big Champions League match. A lot of people in the comments talking about this. Celtic against Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich are one of the favourites to win the Champions League. I think they're about plus 600 now with Bet Rivers. They're expected to certainly get through overall. Minus 3,000 and beyond to qualify against Celtic. Minus 286 now on the money line today to win. High goal line here, over 3.5 goals, plus 112. A bit worried about myself here, Nigel, because all day I've been thinking that Celtic plus 1.5 goals could be a bet, which it's not a great feeling when you're betting on a Scottish team against Bayern Munich. What do you think? Am I being a bit of a madman there, or have Celtic got an opportunity here?
I think the problem is when it comes to Celtic in Europe, we look at their form and go, "Oh, they've won 17 successive home matches, and they've won, these kind of matches." Well, they beat Rafe 5-0 at the weekend, and half of the Rafe players had to go to work on Sunday morning. It's a very, very poor league, and I think we sometimes get carried away about how good they are. And I think we have to look at Celtic purely and simply on their Champions League form. And this is a Celtic side that struggled to get past Young Boys, 1-0 in their last home match. I know they pushed Aston Villa close, but in the end, Aston Villa come back in 1-4-2. They're a side that, we know that they start fast. We know that when they play You Never Walk Alone, the place goes crazy. And we know that these players, their first 25 minutes is high tempo. But I think if you can ride past the first 25, 30 minutes in Celtic matches and they haven't scored, then you've pretty much got them beat. The problem here is Bayern Munich come here, who are in great form domestically. They're a side that many people want to bet to win the tournament. But my big problem with Bayern Munich is I don't rate the manager. I really don't rate the manager. However good they are, I just don't think Vincent Kompany is a top-class manager to win the Champions League. And I think when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, I would be concerned about them. We saw them in the Champions League last time out against Bratislava. They won 3-1. But on the road this season, they've gone to places and done okay. They beat Shakhtar Donetsk, I think, 5-1. They've gone to, where else? They went to Barcelona, got absolutely smashed But I just got a feeling here they leave themselves open for goals. And I'm traditionally an unders better, as everybody knows on this show. I've sort of changed my tact over the last season or so. But I look at this match here, and I don't think for 1 minute these two sides will sit back. I think this will be an end-to-end game, and I just think the way you've got to profit on this match is goals. Over 3.5 goals here is plus 112. And I've always said to people, if you want to bet over 3.5 goals and you think there's going to be 3.5, go one higher, go over 4.5 goals. And Bet Rivers give you an opportunity to do that. Over 4.5 goals is plus 275. I just think that Company is a manager that I don't think can set out tactically. I don't think he's the kind of manager that can really have a game plan other than what he knows. And all he knows is all-out attack. So I think over 3.5 goals at plus 112 is a good bet. I think over 4.5 goals at plus 275 is a decent bet. And I think both teams to score, if you like the minus money, which is minus 148. This is the crazy match of the night, I think. I think we could see quite a high score, a 4-2 by Munich. And I think that man, Harry Kane, I know you and Will spoken about him yesterday, talking about him to be the top goal scorer in the Champions League. I think, to get plus 255, him to score the first goal, or minus 140, him score at any time, I think you're much better if you're going to take those low prices to bet him to be the top goal scorer in the Champions League rather than taking those low prices to score any time. But I think the only way we can play this game is looking at goals.
Yeah. Celtic plus 1.5 is minus 118. And yeah, I really am close to that, I must say. I'm with you. I don't trust Vincent Kompany. And I think this is a bit of a kitchen sink game for Celtic. I think they've got to throw everything at it. That whole season really comes down to this now. I mean, I think it must be quite boring being a Celtic fan, really, at times. They've got the league sewn up, 13 clear. Rangers are already out of the Scottish Cup. They're going to win that. They've won, 12 of the last 13 titles. Must be getting pretty boring domestically. But I think they want to try and make some sort of mark in Europe, even if they get knocked out.
Well, they've made their mark in more and getting here. This is their mark. This is their level. I mean, this is their level, Steve. I mean, I've got loads of friends who are Celtic fans, loads of friends who are Rangers fans, and they tell me, "Oh, we'd be top half of the Premier League." No, you wouldn't. You'd be bottom six, and you'd be a champion. You would be at Leeds United, would be a sort of a leveler for Rangers, and Celtic would be on a level, in my opinion, as Southampton. You're not going to, and if Southampton went to play a Bayern Munich game, what price would they be? But the problem is what they do have is they have a passionate fans. They make it absolutely unbelievable for teams to go there. The atmosphere there on Champions League nights is insane. And it's the first 25 minutes, 30 minutes is so hard for any team going there. They have to keep them quiet. But if they concede after one goal, then this could be an absolute bloodbath for Celtic tonight. I just fancy goals. Where would you just
over 3.5?
I never put official plays over 3.5, but I would put it as a lean. I mean, where I've got some official plays on more domestic. I'll let you do the plays on the Champions League. But where would you put Celtic in sort of the class of a Premier League team?
Great question. I think it's true what you say, and a few others say it, is they are so hard to judge because domestically they are very, very dominant, and then we can only really judge them Champions League. I don't think they'll be at the level of Southampton. I think they'll be better than Southampton.
So if they play, if this version of Celtic plays Southampton on a neutral pitch, this version of them, you would say that Celtic would be the favourites.
Yes. Quite a bit, actually.
Really?
I would have them about plus on a
Everton.
neutral pitch.
What about Everton? Everton on a neutral
I think that's more the sort of level. I think that would be maybe a pick-em for me on a neutral venue.
Adams made a very good point there. If Celtic had Premier League revenue, they would have. That's 100%. They would, because they'll get people to come to the ground. They get people to come and play for them. Their history is massive. Their champions of Europe is massive, but they haven't. So people always say, where would this Celtic? It's a big question. Where would this Celtic team be? And I think they'd be bottom three.
Question.
Bottom three.
It's a really great question. I think there'll be a lot of different answers about that one. There's a house special. Harry Kane to score, Bayern Munich to win. Half-time, full-time, plus 165. And the Club Brugge game, by the way, Retegui And
Someone at your front door, Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to have to answer that. And I'll get you
Oh
talking
my
now
God,
about the
what's
Monaco
going on
game.
here?
I'll be back in 1 minute. I think it's my next door neighbour picking up a parcel.
Well, it's the next door neighbours coming for a tip. Now, listen, Steve Wyss has left me here now with Monaco against Benfica. And as you know, I don't know if you know this, but I've just literally recorded game bet match with Sean Calvert. And I rung Steve up and said to Steve, listen, I've done all the research and all these different matches, but the one match that I haven't done is Monaco against Benfica. So that's my preview of Monaco Benfica. All done, Steve.
What are we on? Monaco Benfica?
Yeah.
Right. Goals. Got to be
Just
goals.
exactly
Nigel,
what I said.
here.
Exactly what I said.
Got to be goals. I'm a bit worried actually for Benfica. If Sporting was so bad last night that if Benfica put in another stinker of a performance, then I'm thinking that Portuguese football is not in a great state. And Monaco might look a big price to qualify at plus 105. But I don't know. Both teams, I don't trust their defense. A lot of goals at both ends of the field in each of their respective games. There's suspension and injury problems from Monaco at the back. Singo's injured. Wyss is suspended. They actually met in the group stage 2-3. Benfica won that night. So I think the goal line's too low. At around 3 now is the goal. This would be my best bet of the night, actually. Over 3 Asian goals in Monaco against Benfica. I think it's even money. Minus 110 now. So there has been some movement for the over goals in this particular game. Like I say, again, it's a bit like the Dutch league. Sometimes these Portuguese league teams can look a lot better than they are because domestically they dominate so much. So I'm really intrigued to see how Benfica play here. In terms of match result, I don't know. I'm thinking 2-2 draw, maybe 3-2 to someone, Nigel. But it would have to be the goals in this game.
I mean, you told me this morning, you sent me a WhatsApp this morning and said you like goals in this match. So I've actually bet the goals in this match. I remember going back to... I don't like to give him credit, and I know he's watching the show, and he puts the comments up, and it's Dan Roebuck, and he said, and I take little, I don't listen to anything he says really, but there's certain things that he says that I actually listen to, and he said at the very beginning of the season that they will drop points at home because people will like to go to Monaco. The fans will go there, the players, we're in Monaco playing football, and actually today the whole market is getting with Benfica and the draw. The Monaco price is getting bigger and bigger and bigger because it's quite a trendy place to go. It's quite a place that nobody really wants to, it's not intimidating. You could think of a lot worse places to go. And, Benfica has seen the money for them. So, if you like the money trends and you like your trends, then Benfica are definitely the price. And I can understand why Dan is right. But, he has given me sort of 25 snippets, 30 snippets this season, and it'd be nice to see one of them come to fruition. But anyway, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But, up the Doncaster.
74% of the money is actually on Benfica for the game. So
well, there you go. There you go. That's. I think Benfica draw no bet is the bet for this one here, and the money suggests that as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust Monaco. And let's see if Benfica can put in a better performance. There is no house special for this game. There was one for the Club Brugge game. I forgot to mention it. Matteo Retegui or Charles de Ketelaere to score first. Plus 175. De Ketelaere against his former club, by the way. So that could be something there. And also in the Feyenoord game, Feyenoord and AC Milan each to score in the first half. Both teams score first half plus 265. That's the final house special today. With Bet Rivers, there's so many comments coming through the chat. I can hardly get through them all. But yes, it was my next door neighbour who I was given a parcel that came earlier.
Is he from Rotterdam? She looked at my Dutch next door neighbour. What did he think when you opened the door with your mustard jacket?
Well, I think she looked at me and you could tell there was a bit of a startled sort of look, wondering what was going on. But she wanted to get in her house. It's pretty miserable out there today here. I'm sure I might get some comments tomorrow or something when I next see her. But,
I thought she must have thought, what's going on here with his mustard jacket?
I think
but usually you go to Steve Wyss's house, there's quails flying around, there's otters, there's snakes. There
is snakes now.
You got snakes?
Snake. Yeah. When I was away in Portugal, both my daughters have gone behind my back and they've got a snake each. Now, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, they'd never do anything. They just hide under a rock all day. But
who, the daughters or the snakes?
This is like a zoo.
I know
it's like a zoo.
You can, whenever you go into Steve's house and you're doing a live show before the cemetery, I said, "What's that?" I said, "Randy Quail." Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a snake. I mean, it's unbelievable what goes in this house. It's incredible. This should be the red button content you want to hear. Life at the zoo with Steve Wyss.
I know.
You've got cats walking around the place, quails, Randy Quails. It's unbelievable. Randy Quail should be your porn name. That's your porn name, Steve Wyss, Randy Quail.
Follow the Because We Win Instagram account. I'll do a zoo tour one day, exclusive for followers. Right, that is the Champions League done. We've got championship matches now, and also we've got ATP, Buenos Aires and Marseille to look at. We've got a full championship card today. 7 matches. You've got 2 games that you're particularly interested in, Nigel. Let's start with a big one at the top of the table. Sheffield United against Middlesbrough. Sheffield United around even money here. I mean, Middlesbrough, I actually think they're a decent team, but they keep blowing a lot of good positions in matches, Nigel. Can they give Sheffield United something to think about here?
Well, I've got my biggest bet of this anti-post-season of futures is on Middlesbrough to make the playoffs. So I desperately need them to win this match. I'll tell you what, let's just look at the top there. Plymouth Argyle obviously against Millwall, and both these sides have had big wins at the weekend in the FA Cup. And usually when teams have big wins in the FA Cup, you want to fade them the following week. Millwall obviously beating Leeds, Plymouth obviously beating Liverpool. So that is no surprise to see the tie there at plus 188, because both of these sides will be absolutely exhausted after their weekend's heroics. Yes. And they're plus 188. Plymouth obviously need to win a lot more than Millwall, but the draw here is so much lower than what you've seen in any match this season, plus 188. And I think the way that they both come through, Millwall have been drawn against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. Plymouth have been drawn against Manchester City. So the draw here plus 188 is a decent, I can understand why that is. Swansea give up more goals from any other team in the Championship from set pieces. So if you're looking for Sheffield Wednesday, look at corners for Sheffield Wednesday. Everyone wants to play set pieces. Swansea beat Bristol City at the weekend, but gave away so many corners in the early part. And the 2 centre halves from Bristol City had so many chances to score from a header, but the goalie for Swansea made a great save and kept them out of it. Burnley Hull, no real opinion. Bristol City Stoke, no opinion. Sunderland Luton, no opinion. The bottom 2 I like. Now, Sheffield United v Middlesbrough, this is a big game. It's obviously a local derby, localist derby. But I think here that Sheffield United, I quite like the unders. I've got a quite feeling this could be the unders. Both sides aren't in the greatest of form. Sheffield United only won 2 of their last 6. Middlesbrough only won once in their last 6. Their road form hasn't been that great. And I got a feeling with other results around, I just got a feeling that this might not be the goal fest that everybody's expecting. It's quite cold around up the north of England tonight. And I got a feeling that could be a low scoring game. But my best bet is West Brom to beat Blackburn this evening. I think West Brom here, they were even money. Bet Rivers are now minus 122. I'm not quite sure whether that is the official. This is my only official play tonight in the Championship. I'm going to get the latest price on West Brom. But hang on,
what's happening at Blackburn, Nigel? I mean, this is a mess.
Well, he's gone. The manager's gone. I mean, the manager's a guy called John Eustace, who's an exceptionally good manager. I'm a QPR fan. He was our assistant manager, and there was talk of him going to the club. He left. He went to Birmingham, didn't he? Done a brilliant job at Birmingham. He then bought in Birmingham, got rid of him, and the American owners brought in Wayne Rooney, and it completely went wrong. Went to Blackburn, got them in touch with the playoffs, and now he's been touted, and he's going to be the new manager of Derby. Coming into this match, they've been in drastic form. They've lost 5 of their last 6 matches, Blackburn, and it's because of this sort of uncertainty about the manager going. And West Brom have been doing all right, and they brought a manager in a fantastic story in Tony Mowbray, who's gone back to the club. He's had cancer. He's come back. He's such a good guy. He's and the fans have got right behind him. And West Brom are doing really, really well. And it's a tale of 2 managers, and they were even money. Minus 112 may be a little bit of a short price for me, but I think if the line drifts back to minus 110. -105. I think they're the best bet on the night tonight. West Brom in the Championship. West Brom to beat Blackburn. They were even money. There was a negative towards them, but news to Johnny Eustace, the Blackburn manager, will be the next Derby manager. He's almost signed papers. He won't be in charge this evening. And I think that's going to be real big problems for a Blackburn side that are showing declines. And I've seen so many teams that John Eustace has walked away from that have gone downhill instantly. And I think that could be the case tonight. So I'm going to go for Sheffield United. I'm going to go for West Brom to beat Blackburn this evening.
He's a very good manager. He's got a great record against Leeds.
Yep.
He always beats us 1-0. He just, wherever he goes, he seems to do well. And I don't know whether he's treated badly or gets unlucky or whatever. But taking.
Well, he's clearly gone here. He's clearly gone here for the pounds. He's clearly gone here for the money, because you're not going to be leaving a club that's on the verge of the playoffs to take on a team. I know Derby have got a huge history and they're a big club, but the incentive to keep them up and the money he's probably been offered and it probably diminishes his brand slightly. But he is an exceptionally good coach, and I believe that his loss tonight will be huge, and I think West Brom will beat Blackburn.
Well, on to the tennis, and good news for you in the Doha match. Swiatek won. Nigel, a few comments.
Struggle. She got through, and she got through, and eventually, but it wasn't great. I mean, we were on her at plus 370 to win the tournament. Myself and Roy Giovanni on Betting Weekly WTA, but she got through. Didn't play very well, but the draws opened up. Goff has gone out, and you also got the Rebecca has gone out. But sorry, not Rebecca. Sabalenka's gone out. Next up, she's got Rebecca, and I think whoever wins that match will win the tournament. So hopefully, it's Algar Swiatek, but she's got to play a lot better than
that. We've got some bets in the two ATP events. Buenos Aires. Yeah. 3 matches to look at here. We've got Etcheverry against Fonseca, Zverev against Lajovic, and then Cerundolo against Cerundolo. Are they brothers?
They're brothers, yeah. They're brothers, yeah.
Ah, there you go. Right. So, lead us away then, Nigel, with the bets.
Well, I mean, the first match, Tomas Martin Etcheverry against Joao Fonseca. It's a very interesting match. Tomas Martin Etcheverry is from Argentina. Joao Fonseca is the young kid from Brazil who's going to be the next big superstar of the men's tennis game. He beat Andrei Rublev in the Australian Open. Then the second round, he was a -$7 favourite against Lorenzo Sonego, and he couldn't live up to expectations. But I think he'll relish this opportunity to go to Argentina as a Brazilian and beat him. I think he's got something about him, this boy, and I don't think he'll find the pressure. So I think Joao Fonseca will win this match at -129. The next match, Alexander Zverev against Dusan Lajovic. This is really interesting because Alexander Zverev has never played the clay court season over in South America. He usually plays in Delray Beach, where he plays the tournaments in Europe, but he's never played this. He wants to do it, but he's lost his luggage on the way to Argentina. That was about 2 days ago. Should have it back, but his preparation has not been ideal. The last time we saw Alexander Zverev on court was in the final of the Australian Open, where he got absolutely trounced by Yannick Sinner. And I just got a feeling here that Lajovic is a real good clay court player. And I think over 19.5 games here at -117 is an exceptionally good price. So Fonseca would be a lean for me, but over 19.5 games at -117 would be certainly a bet for me. Now, Cerundolo against Francisco Cerundolo, I can only tell you that I just know a lot of sort of rivalries between brothers and sisters in tennis matches, and they go at it. What I've always heard last night was that they go at it, or what I've heard in experience is that they go at it for the set number one and really go for it. And whoever wins set number one essentially goes on to win the match. But I've got a feeling these two might really have a good old battle with each other in set number one. So I think set two, whoever wins the match may sort of run into some kind of problems. But I think here, set one over 10.5 games would be my bet here. There's 27 different markets available with Bet Rivers. You can bet over 9.5 games in set number one, which is available at +117. And I think when you get two siblings playing tennis, they really go at it for set number one. I remember Serena Williams and Venus Williams playing really competitive first sets. In the second set, it sort of dropped a bit. So I think +117 over 9.5 in set number one is a decent bet. That Fonseca match, by the way, has just gone live in play on Bet Rivers. So you'll be able to get the latest prices if you want to bet Fonseca there. But my two bets tonight will be over 9.5 in the Cerundolo brothers match in set number one and over 19.5 in the Zverev match. I think that's a real difficult match for him to go from playing in the final of a major on a hard court to suddenly go all the way to Argentina, from Australia to Argentina, and then play on a hard court, a clay court, which is totally different. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him. So that would be my bet tonight.
I think I might just put down Cerundolo to win on my bet slip.
Yeah, you can do it. There's another match tomorrow between Borges and Bergs. You can put the E and the O and just put it on a bet slip, Cerundolo and Borges, and do a double, and you may get away with it. Let's see what's going on.
Zverev was at the Boca game last night at the Bomboniera. Apparently.
Oh, he was at the Dan Roebuck match, the Boca match.
Ian Messina says, "Have we got any more ski bets?" There was sensationally a giant slalom bet. I've still got the graphic here actually from Tuesday. This is it. It's crazy. Federica Brignone, that's the bet for Rory Giuani. She's actually drifted to plus 250 now. Never thought I'd see the day when we'd have a winter sports bet, apart from maybe the Olympics on Betting Weekly Live.
He said to me, there's a woman there called someone called Breezy Johnson, and the only time I ever went skiing, I had a Breezy Johnson, and I couldn't believe it. What I was seeing, I thought Neil Channing's sumo wrestling was the lowest we could ever go on this show, but as long as we get a winner. It doesn't matter. They all pay out the same. Whether it's Champions League, whether it's downhill skiing, whether it's sumo wrestling, they all play out the winnings. It's fine.
We've got one more match to talk about. It's ATP Marseille. Khachanov against Medjedovic. Wow, that was a tough one for me to say. Yeah. Plus 132 on the underdog here. What do you like for the game?
Well, I mean, this is one of Sean's leans yesterday on the show. He gave Medjedovic at plus 132. The price has held up, which I'm quite surprised that price has held up. But I do think Medjedovic will win this. You can see the total games are quite high, 23.5. But all the reasoning that we said on the show yesterday, if you haven't watched it, Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, a new show is coming out after this show. A new show will drop. But Medjedovic here at plus 132 is probably the wrong price for me. So it's already been mentioned by Sean, but I thought I'd bring it on here because it's going to start in the next couple of hours or so. But Medjedovic. But the tennis content that we haven't touched on is obviously those two matches that I said there, over 19.5 in the match between Zverev and Lajovic. And I'm going to go for that Cerundolo match. I honestly do think that when you get two brothers or sisters playing each other, you want to be really tight. No brother wants to get big 6-love by his brother or 6-1 or 6-2. So the bet over 9.5 games at plus money, I think is a great bet.
Yeah. Paul Laguna recaps it pretty well there. Interruption by the door, Snakes and Nigel going off on about Rotterdam. It's an action-packed show. Just a recap of my bets from it. Under 2.75 goals for me, Everton against Liverpool. Celtic plus 1.5. I'll make that an official play, minus 118. And the best bet for me over 3 Asian goals. It's got to be in the Monaco Benfica match. Just a stat I forgot to actually mention for the Bayern game, by the way. The referee is Spanish and he's averaging nearly 8 cards per game in La Liga this season.
Wow.
And nearly 6 cards per game in the Champions League. His name is Jesus Gil Manzano. So I don't know who. I mean, they're not dirty teams, really. Normally, are they? Celtic and Bayern, because they dominate their matches so much domestically. So I don't know where the angle is there.
Yeah, but that could mean that the stats are. When you look at stats and you look at Celtic average so and so cars and Bayern Munich average, they're usually 3 and up after 25 minutes or 30 minutes. So, that's where stats could be wrong. So if they keep it competitive, but I think that match there, it's all about the first opening 20 minutes to determine how you want to go. I'll just give you my recap of the match. I mean, the Everton Liverpool, the big match tonight. I've gone for Everton plus 1.25 goals with Bet Rivers. I also think Everton at plus 650 on the money line is well worth a bit of pizza money. I'm going to go for. I quite like Feyenoord, draw no bet. I don't like Feyenoord I don't like Rotterdam, but I quite like Feyenoord. As a draw no bet. Yeah, domestically in the Championship, I think West Brom to beat Blackburn tonight is the best bet on the card in the Championship. And those two tennis bets, over 19.5 games in Zverev against Lajovic over in Buenos Aires. And in Buenos Aires, there's 2 brothers playing. The Cerundolo brothers are playing. And I think over 9.5 games in set number 1 at plus money is a decent bet when you get 2 brothers playing each other.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. There's so many comments today. and not been able to go through hardly any of them at times. It's been absolutely crazy stuff. But I've seen a lot of love for your tennis podcasts in the chat today, Nigel and Sean and Rig Rory. Been going very well recently.
Yeah,
Loads of comments.
We're going well. I mean, you're only as good as the team around you, and the lads are on fire at the moment. Specifically, Sean Calvert. I mean, he's over in Delray Beach now. He'll be having a Magnus now, I'm sure, and eating a taco and posting it on Instagram. But he's been in sensational form. People criticize Sean, say he gets off to a bad start, and you don't do this and you don't do that. But when he hits it out the park, and he's been on, I think his last 7 bets on the show have all won. He's got some more bets today. Make sure you watch Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, and we recorded a podcast just before this show that you'll be able to get as well on the YouTube channel. And also, I know we had 300 people in at one stage. I don't believe all 300 of these people actually subscribe to the channel. I would say probably half you do. Please subscribe to the channel. If you want more content like this, we need those numbers to go up and up and up. If we can get 10,000 subscribers, that is perfect, and we can get that. And I think with your help on this community each week, we can. So please hit the subscribe button, and please hit the bell button as well. And every time any content comes on the show, it will drop down straight into your inbox. So, but it's really important to hit that subscribe button. So thank you very much if you could do that.
And you can subscribe to the newsletter as well. Well done with your newsletter pick this week, Nigel. Cashed last night in the Real Madrid draw no bet. And Paul Laguna says if Everton win on the money line, there's a Stella keg on its way. So, yeah.
Not another one. Not another one.
Edgar Alves, Liverpool under 4.5 goals at plus 470. Are we talking over 4.5 goals?
No, he's at Liverpool he's got to be over 4.5.
Oh, yeah, I think that might be a misprint. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone who joined live today. Do join Betting Weekly live tomorrow. Myself and James Easton, we're going to go through every single match on the card. Europa League, Conference League is back. So excited about the Conference League's return on the field tomorrow in Europe. But from this edition of Betting Weekly Live, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a barrel of laughs. And Rotterdam, I'm booking my ticket for Rotterdam.
This could be
Nigel.
Rotterdam or anywhere, Liverpool or Rome. Rotterdam is anywhere from home, anywhere from home.
And with that, we say goodbye. Bet responsibly, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live. Take care.